réseaux nationaux, voire européens. Donc la notion de pilotage de ces réseaux est très importante. Alors ce qu'on n'a pas dit aussi beaucoup, c'est la notion de, enfin si ça a quand même été évoqué, d'intégration des ressources. C'est-à-dire que pour faire tout ça, il va falloir réfléchir en termes de matériaux, en termes de cycle des matières, en termes de cycle de l'eau. Si on veut fabriquer de l'hydrogène, il faudra faire de l'électrolyse. Pour nous, c'est l'électrolyse haute température pour produire de l'hydrogène décarboné. Et le cycle du carbone, c'est-à-dire réfléchir au CO2 aussi, non pas uniquement en CCS, mais en production de nouvelles molécules chimiques. Voilà, je vais terminer en disant que pour moi, le consommateur européen sera au centre d'un triangle, donc avec des outils de production, des outils de stockage et des réseaux, et que nous travaillons sur ces sujets-là avec, comme cela a été évoqué, beaucoup d'activités sur les SMR, et notamment sur le SMR français qui s'appelle New. Voilà, j'avais terminé.
Thank you very much. Yes, I agree with you that we have to use every possible solutions to protect nature, the environment. I do not think nuclear is the only solution. We have to create an energy mix which we can say not nuclear or renewable sources, but renewable sources and nuclear. And now, at least, but not at last, I turn to the last presenter, panelist, Ms. Tiina Tuomela from Finland. And we know that Finland is a country which operates and uses nuclear energy from many decades. And even as we heard today, you are in the process of installing nuclear power plants and constructing nuclear power plants. That will mean the nuclear share will be even higher in your energy mix. Could you present to us, please, the variety of solutions to the issue long-term operation in your country, new construction capacities, small modular reactor innovations, and tell about that choice of passing from, if I'm not mistaken, 35% to up to 57% of the electricity mix, and to fulfill the government's objective of having 100 decarbonised energy, what will be the complementary energy source here in Finland? Thank you. Too many questions.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if you have heard that there was a study that Finland is one of the happiest countries. And when I listen to my colleagues, so I think that that also is quite true what comes to the nuclear. So we are quite happy situation. Finnish government, however, has established very ambitious targets. So we want to achieve the climate neutrality in 2035, and that's in 15 years' time. And I think we agree, particularly in the nuclear industry, 15 years is very, very short, and it is very, very ambitious. The starting point in Finland, I think it's, however, what comes to the energy production, fairly good. So last year, 2018, so from our production, 32% was coming from nuclear, so higher than the European average. Then we had roughly 20% of hydro, 20% of biomass, 9% of wind, and then 9% of coal. So I think fairly balanced production mix of different technologies. And also if we think about environmentally, so 60% CO2 free plus bio, so quite nice starting point. Also what comes to the security of supply, so quite good diversity to keep the lights on. Then if we look at the coming years, so as mentioned here also earlier, so we are getting more nuclear, so Olkiluoto 3 coming on the line next year. And then Fennovoima coming on the line later, 2028 or so. Both of these projects actually, they are on Mankala based. And I think this is probably one key why we have been able to build nuclear, because we are sharing risk. So industry, energy companies, municipalities, so we are putting the equity and having the funding together. Then at the same time, we know that the wind production is increasing heavily. We have a very heavy pipeline of the wind production coming on. So in the Nordics, there's very good wind conditions. You probably noticed today. So it's quite windy. And also we have a land. We have a land in the northern part of Finland and Sweden, Norway. So people are quite pleased that plants are built. So also the wind production is doubling or tripling. We'll see how if the financing is in a way found to all those projects. Then what comes to the coal, so Finland has also set up a target to get rid of the coal by 2029. So I would say that in the coming years, so the nuclear and renewable, including hydro, so those will be the backbone of the Finnish energy system. I think it's also important to look at a bit wider, because my company, Fortum, so we are operating in all the Nordic countries, Finland, Sweden, Norway, also Estonia. So I think it is important to look at also the regional markets and how the resources are used most efficient way. In the Nordic, I think we are even luckier than Finland, because there is 60% of hydro if we look at it overall. So hydro, renewable, CO2-free, very long-lasting asset. And then nuclear share in the Nordic level is 20%. So quite good mix. And I think what comes to the hydro is that, as we know, we have the rainy period and then we have a dry period. So the production volume might change plus minus 20% in the different years. And then it means that it varies a lot, and then to combine that with the nuclear is very, in a way, good combination. So hydro, wind, nuclear, and then the biomethane. So I think this is I believe that the variety of the different technologies, use all CO2-free technologies, is the good thing. Even though the current situation looks good, I have to say that Kalle said that nuclear is a money machine maker. Unfortunately, if I look at a couple years back, so we made a decision in Sweden to close down Oskarshamn 1 and 2. Fully, operational plan, still technical lifetime left, but for the economical reason, we have to close the plants down. So I think that also once more renewables are coming to the market, so the market prices, they are more volatile, and there are periods when there's a lot of hydro, a lot of wind, the prices are very, very low. So one issue what I would like to address is that we as an industry, we need to also work what comes to the competitiveness of nuclear. If I see on my table, in my division, I also deal with the wind project. And when I look at the wind project year after year, I see that the cost of components and technology is coming down, down, down. Where I get my refurbishment investment from the nuclear, it's coming up, up, up. And I'm thinking, what's happening? Why is not the nuclear industry developing in the same manner as the other industries? And I think that some of you, in a way, called for cooperation. I think the nuclear industry should also do cooperation and, in a way, fight for competitiveness and effectiveness of the industry. Of course, remembering that we need to keep the plates very safe. And I think there is room to improve. Do the sharing the best practices, taking the digitalization in use. VTT mentioned the virtual reality tools. Also get, new leadership, young people, new innovation to the place. And one thing, I think what we have started to work actually in all the Finnish license holders, so TVO, Fennovoima and Fortum, and the Finnish Nuclear Authority. So we have started the project Kelpo, where we try to look at that, how to work with and develop with the licensing and qualification of the safety class components. And then we have taken, lower safety class components and seen that if we could use the standardized pieces with very high quality control, quality assurance processes, and help and do the qualification of the nuclear specific bits. And then share the information. So we have the pilots, TVO is doing some of them, Fortum is doing other ones, and then when we do, we share. We share the qualification process. I know this is very modest attempt, so it's only a couple of components, it's something, but I think that, if we get the momentum, if we get other countries, other regulators in, so hopefully we can make this modest attempt to the, bigger success in the longer term. And I think it is very important because if we look at our Nordic fleet, so it is also, nuclear fleet is roughly 40 years. And as discussed, to keep the nuclear share in the production fleet high, we need to work and get our investments feasible and keep our plants safe. The same comes, of course, with the new plants. I think it's very difficult to get the financing if we say that the construction time is 15 years and this cost maybe 6 million or 10 million or 12 million, we don't know. I think we need to get more precise and more we build, probably more accurate we are, and also take the small modular reactors on the table, so develop that side. Time's up. So one more thing. So I would say that the industry could do a lot, and then I would wish for the politicians that nuclear is treated in a similar way as other CO2 technologies. What comes to the R&D, innovation policy, and financing. So I'm sure that in cooperation we make the happy end for the other countries too. Thank you.
If you allow me, I will, Tiina, thank you for Tiina made 2 weeks ago an excellent presentation that I'm really sorry that she couldn't show today about the cost of parts in nuclear. And it showed what over-regulation has done to nuclear business and how making it uncompetitive. But politicians, and especially in Oskarshamn and Ringhals, also are to blame in Sverige when it comes to why it was uncompetitive, and also in Belgium. The nuclear tax, can you imagine there was like 5 to 7 euros per megawatt hour tax in Sverige, in Sweden? I don't know whether it's still in Belgium. There was also in probably some time, or I don't know whether it's still in existence in Germany. But if you tax and then regulate, I mean, if something that you tax and regulate doesn't die, that's a miracle. But obviously the Germans do on top of it. And why I'm so passionate about renewables is because there's a missing elephant in the room, and es sind die Deutschen. They are the Germans. So my father or my mother was a Silvikus, a German. Weird thing, but the German Energiewende. This is that makes me really passionate about this. What I talked about, that the idea that you can serious industrial country run without nuclear power and only on renewables and with an emphasis and they don't have biomass and they don't have the mountains like Norway and Sweden do. And so in that position, talking that we can do the Energiewende, this is a massive problem for all of us because they have this political setup that they can't escape almost. So it's a Brexit scenario that you have in your small island. So it is not sustainable, and I believe that nuclear should defend more rigorously in Germany their position than they almost have given up the Preußen Elektra, and they don't speak about nuclear anymore. But the Germans should be actually invited next time.
Thank you very much. And I also thank you for all the panelists for their presentation. I think the presentation were really interesting, and I think we have just some time, the audience, to have some comments.